Hello friends, welcome to the session on Python programming. In this session, we'll be discussing about list data structure in the Python programming language. In this session, we will see what we mean by list, how to define a list in the Python program, what are the different operations that can be performed on the list. Also, we will see what are the commonly used built-in functions with the list. And then we will see some suitable example how the list can be used in the Python program. Friends, as you know that you are viewing this session on my YouTube channel, and you can subscribe to the channel so that you can watch many other educational videos on the various topics in the subjects of electronics and computer science. So let us start the session with the question what we mean by list in the Python program. Friends, we know that we require several data types whenever we want to feed values or whenever we want to assign values to the variables. List is also a data type, and you can say that it is a ordered sequence. This is a ordered sequence, and this ordered sequence is mutable. That is, its element can be changed, and it can consist of one or more elements. The advantage with the list in the Python is that it can contain the elements of the different data types. For example, we can have a list where one list will consist of integer number, as well as it will consist of some float number, or it may consist of a string or a tuple, or it is possible that you can have another list within a list. So list is a very useful data type because it will allow us to group the mixed elements of belonging to the different data types together. And whenever we want to declare a list or whenever we want to define a list in the Python program, then that can be done by enclosing the elements in the square bracket. And each and every element is being separated by a comma. So for example, if we write L1, which is a list, which is equal to in the square bracket, we write the different elements 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And if I give the command print L1, then you will find that the elements of the list will be printed on the Python prompt. It is also possible that can have another list L2, which will consist of the characters such as A, B, and C. And whenever I give the command print L2, then the content of L2 will be displayed on the screen. I can have another list L3, where the L3 list itself will consist of different lists, where every list will consist of the strings such as physics and marks such as 85, chemistry 78, maths 88. And when I give the command print L3, then the content of L3 will be displayed on the screen. So it is possible that list can contain the different data types or the elements belonging to the different data types. Like the strings, list elements will also have indices, and we can access them, and the first index of the element will be 0. In Python, the lists are mutable. That is, the content of the list can be changed after it has been created. So in Python, very few data types are mutable. That is, their content can be changed. List is one of them. That is, we can change the content of the list. So whenever a programmer feels that he need to make some changes in the elements of the sequence, then in that case, he can make the use of the list. If there is no change in the elements, then in that case, the programmer can go for another data type. The elements of the list can be accessed in the same way as the characters are accessed in a string. So for example, if I write L10, then the first element of the list L1, that is 1, will be displayed. If I write L2 3, then you will find that the list L2 will consist of only 3 elements, of which the index are 0, 1, and 2. And therefore, the error message, such as index error, list index out of the range, will be displayed on the screen. If I write L0 is equal to 11, that is when I try to access the particular element and when I try to change its value, then it is possible in Python. And now you can change the element of list L1, first element, to 11, so that the list will be modified and now it will be displayed, such as 11, 3, 5, 7, 9. There are different operations that can be performed on the list data type. So it is possible that we can perform the operations such as concatenation, repetition, membership, and slicing. The Python will allow us to join 2 or more lists using the concatenation operator. And for this operation, we can make the use of the symbol plus. So concatenation operation plus requires that the operand should be of the list type only. If we try to concatenate a list with the elements of some another data type, then you may get error. So for example, if I am having a list L1 consisting of elements 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, another list L2 consisting of elements 2, 4, 6, 8, and if I perform the concatenation operation L1 plus L2, then I will get a list consisting of elements 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8. Python will allow us to replicate list by using the repetition operator, which is indicated by the symbol star. So if I write L1 star 2, then you will find that the same elements will appear twice, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and they will be displayed on the screen. So membership operator in will check if the element is present in the list, and then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So for example, if I write 1 in L2, then I will get the result as false. If I write L1 is equal to India, and if I write L1 star 3, then I will get this string India thrice. India, India, India. If I write L1 to 6, then you will find that I will get an empty list. So if L1 is consisting of red, green, and blue, and if I write L1 from 0 to 1, then I will get the element red. So these operations are just nothing but the slicing operations. So we can slice a list into a sublist, and the slicing can be performed by using these 2 parameters. So in Python, you can access some part of the list, and this method is being called as a slicing, or this operation is being called as a slicing. And this can be achieved by specifying the index range. So if you have been given a list 1, then we can perform the operation list n to m, which will return the part of the list from the index n and ending at m, where n is inclusive while m is exclusive. The number of elements in the sublist will always be equal to the difference of the 2 indices m and n, that is, it is equal to m minus n. The slice operation can also take a third parameter, and that third parameter is being called as a step size. For example, if I write list parameters n, m, and k, which means that every kth element has to be extracted from the list 1, starting from n and ending at m minus 1. So if you do not specify the step, then by default, the step size will be equal to 1. So for example, if I write a list consisting of the elements such as Prakash, Vipul, Vasu, Rohini, Sushila, Rajesh, and Mapu, if I write L1, 0, 6, 2, then I will get the elements Prakash, Vasu, and Sushila. So you will find that the step will be 2. If I write L1 minus 6 colon 2, then I will get the element Vipul. If I write, so whenever we put some parameter minus, then the list will be traversed from the right hand side. If I write L1 colon 2, then I will get the elements Prakash, Vasu, Sushila, and Maku. If I write the list L1 colon -1, then you will find that the list will be displayed in the reverse order. That is, we will get the first element in the list as Maku, then Rajesh, then Sushila, Rohini, Vasu, Vipul, and Prakash. It is possible that you can visit each and every element of the list. And whenever we visit each and every element of the list, then that is being called as a traversing of the list. So whenever you want to perform the list traversing, then that can be achieved either by using for loop or by using while loop. So for example, I am having a list L1 consisting of elements such as Prakash, Vipul, Vasu, Rohini, Sushila, Rajesh, and Maku. So if I write a for list for item in L1 colon print item, then you will find that all the elements in the list are printed on the screen. The same can be achieved by rewriting the for loop such as for I in the range in the bracket length of L1 colon print L1I, then all the elements in the list are printed. If you want to use the while loop, then initially you have to initialize I is equal to 0, while I less than length of L1 colon print L1I, I plus equal to 1. Then also you will find that all the elements in the list will be displayed on the screen. There are certain commonly used built-in functions with the list. The first one is the len length, which will return the length of the list, which is passed as an argument. So if L1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then length of L1 will be 5. List will create an empty list if no argument is passed, and it will create a list if the sequence is passed as an argument. So if I write L2 is equal to list, and if I display L2, it will be an empty list. If I write S1 is equal to AEIOU, a string, and if I write L2 list S1, and then if I display L2, then I will find that a list will be created consisting of elements AEIOU. Append operation will append a single element passed as an argument at the end of the list. So whenever you want to add a new element into the list, you can make the use of append. So for example, if I write L1 dot append 6, and then you will find that the element 6 will be added into the list L1. Similarly, you can make the use of extend function, where it will append each element of the list as an argument to the end of the given list. So L1 extend L2, and then you will find that the elements that are in L2 will be added into the list L1. Insert function will insert an element at a particular index in the list. So for example, if I write L1 insert, L1 dot insert 2, 7, then one can observe that the 2 and 7 will be inserted. As one can observe that we are inserting the element at the particular index. So at the particular index means at the index of 2, the element 7 will be inserted into the list, and therefore the list L1 will be displayed as 1, 2, 7, 3, 4, and like that. Count is a function which will return the number of times the given element appears in the list. Say for example, if I give L1 dot count 1, then I will get the display as 1. Index is a function which will return the index of the first occurrence of the element in the list. If the element is not present, then the value error will be generated. So L1 dot index 6 will give the occurrence of the element 6 in the list, that is at the 6th position. Min, max, and sum, these are the very useful operations which will return the minimum or smallest value of the list. Max will return the maximum or largest element in the list, and sum will return the sum of all the elements in the list. So our list, if L1 consists of 34, 56, 12, 87, 55, 23, and 97, min of L1 will be 12. Max of L1 will be 97, and sum of L1 will return us 364. Sorted operation or sorted function is very useful function because it takes list as a parameter and create a new list consisting of the same element which are arranged in the sorted order. Therefore, if I write L2 is equal to sorted L1, then if I write L2 on the Python prompt, I will be displayed on the screen 12, 23, 34, 55, 56, 87, and 91. That is, all the elements will be sorted in the increasing order. Reverse is a built-in function which will reverse the order of elements in the given list. So L1 dot sort reverse is equal to true. Then you will find that the elements will be sorted in the reverse order. So L1 dot reverse can also again rearrange the elements in the list so that we will get the original list again. This is a list program where we can calculate the average marks of the student. Suppose we have defined a function compute average where there are two parameters list1, n. We will initialize the total equal to 0. We will make the use of the for loop for marks in the list 1. We will compute the total is equal to total plus marks. Then we will write average is equal to total divided by n. And then we will return the average. So initially, we need to create an empty list. List1 is equal to empty list. Then we will print the message, how many students you want to enter. We will read that input and we will convert it into teacher and we will assign it to n. Then we will again use a loop for I in the range 0 to n. We will display the message, enter marks of the student. We will read the marks. We will convert it into integer. And then we will append the marks in the list by using list1 dot append marks. Then we will compute average by using the expression average is equal to compute average list1 comma n. So here we are calling the function and we are passing the parameter list1 comma n. And finally, we are printing the average marks of the student. So whenever you execute this program in the Python environment, then initially the message will be displayed on the screen. How many student marks you want to enter? Suppose we enter 3. Then the message will be displayed on the screen. Enter marks of the student 1. Suppose it is 56. Then marks of student 2. Suppose it is 72, 78. And marks of the student 3. Suppose it is 67. And then the message will be displayed. Average marks of the 3 students is 7.0. So thank you, friends, for viewing the session. Hopefully you have understood what is the list data structure in the Python and how the list can be used in the program. Thank you all.